Hello, this is Mike from TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Jayflight 24 RBS travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a couple things to take into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, I want you to leave plenty of room for that awning to open up. On your off campsite, besides your slide, I also want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. On this 24, your power plug is going to be right here, stored inside the unit. Then your docking station is actually going to be on the rear. So that's where you hook up your city water at. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive, unhook our hitch. First thing we're going to do is level our unit. Unit comes with night docking light should you arrive at night. Simply down or up until you're level. You do have a manual override down there. There's a little rod down there you can get on with a hand crank, and that'll get that up and down if you don't have power. Once you got a unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these scissor stabilizing jacks. 3/4 inch hand crank comes with your convenience pack. What you want to do is you want to run these down just until they're taut. So I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris. Going to keep them from sinking into the hot blacktop. You're just going to run these down until they're taut on top of those stabilizing jacks. Remember, our unit's already level. We're just trying to stabilize it. So get all four of them down. You can use a drill gun or an impact driver. Just slow down when you get to the bottom, because again, you don't want to lift the unit anymore. We just want to stabilize it. Let's get all four of them down. Get your unit level, stable. Next thing we do is hook up our power and water. Again, you get big long 30 amp cord inside here. And your convenience pack will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer that you can put on the end of this should you need to plug into a 110. Once you got your unit plugged in, next thing we do is hook up your water. Again, at campsites, we're going to hook up to city water connection. Just remember, it's on the rear. Grab yourself a water pressure regulator. Hook it up here. Hook up your hose. But don't take your hot water heater. So over here on your campsite. All we're doing at this point is going to make sure our drain plug's back in here. Put some plumber's tape around that, not putty. Putty will gum up on you. Get that in there nice and snug. And then you can go ahead and turn that hose on. After that hose has been on for a few minutes, go inside, open up that slide, get in there and open up all of your water lines. Your sinks, your showers, get a nice steady flow of water going through them, shut them off, and you're all set to camp. Now let's say we're going to go dry camping. Well, in that case, we're going to fill up our freshwater tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here, so we gravity fill this up with a hose. Two ways to tell it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right there, or two on the inside where you check the level of your black and gray tanks. There's also a freshwater button. Keep an eye on that when you're filling it up. Once it's full, remove that hose, put this cap back on there, and then whenever you want to utilize this water, you'll turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump and hook the city water. That is already pressurized. Alright, we're all set to camp. We got power and water. I'll walk you around the rest of the unit. Continue here on the off camp side. Pass-through storage here. Flue for your furnace. You do got a bug guard on there. Be careful, that will get hot when you're running that. Make sure it's never blocked. Our fresh water, low point drains, fresh and regular low point drains. Come around our slide back here to, again, our power. Up here is where you plug in your cable at the campsites. And down here is where we'll dump our black and gray tanks when we're leaving. Around back, you got a cover for your spare tire. Recommend keeping that on there. Add to the longevity of the life of that. So we've got city water here. Black tank flush. We'll talk about that when leaving the campsite and dumping our black tanks. And your 751 key right here. Open up that shower. You're also prepped for a backup camera. And you got a ladder. Utilize this. Go up there 2-3 times a year. Check the seams of your roof and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. Low point drains here. as well. You have an outdoor kitchen here. You will pull this out, quick connect hose from here to there, and there's your griddle. Water sink there. Remember, these are latched on, not a magnet, so don't just pull on them. Here's a access panel to the back of your fridge. Again, your hot water heater with bug guards. Coming up front here, you got a vent for your hood range indoors. 110s, cable, and hookup for a TV if you want to set a TV outside. A couple more 110s out here. Some hitch work. Here's the hand crank for that stabilizing, excuse me, for that power tongue jack in case you lose your power. Speaking of power, check your battery post every now and then. I'm out on the lot, so this is a dead battery. I had to throw the power on there. But check your battery post every now and then. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. About covers everything out here. Let's take a look on the inside. Alright, coming up inside your unit, first thing I always like to point out is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway in case of an emergency. Coming up the wall here, going right up to our control panel. So up here is where you'll check the level of your black and gray tanks. Excuse me, your battery, black and gray tanks. Here's where you turn on your water pump when you're utilizing that fresh water. Here's where you turn on your water heater hooked to gas, your water heater hooked to electric. It does make a difference. Choose correctly. Over here is our slide control, awning control, and a bunch of lighting. Now on your awning, put the lights on. We're just going to hit out on that. On your awning, you only want to run your awning out until you can see the flap fall down to 90 degrees and you can see your bar up underneath there. Now if I were to hold that out, even after the point of this flap falling down, let the wind catch it. Sometimes them get moist and you got to bring them back in a time or two. But just until you can see that bar. There goes your flap. So as far as you want to hold that. If I were to hold that button down, that would continue to run itself out, flip up onto itself, and start to run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you run it out. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to, or run it in back in the wrong way. So I'm going to continue running that in. I'll talk about a 110 here. Some more lighting here. I'll also tell you these slam locks work best when gently slammed. Run the awning in the rest of the way. While I am, I'll talk about your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. And the reason I mention that's 12 volt, that thing is always running off your battery. So if you're out dry camping somewhere and you're going to be gone for the day, you might want to disconnect the battery to keep that from running your battery down. Our lighting in here, self-explanatory microwave, light and fan above your cooktop. These glass tops make a nice backsplash. Set them back there. Turn on your panel light, turn that to your flame, get your spark over here. Now, remember, when you first get your propane filled up, when you arrive at the campsite, you may have to turn this on to light and hit sparks a few times, turn these all on to light to try to bleed your lines and get some gas into these. Same thing on the oven. Turn that to light, use that to spark it, and just look down in there and make sure your pilot light lights. Rock that panel light down, it becomes an oven light. Below your oven, break your box of fuses, a handful of 15s and a 40. I recommend having them with you. Over here's our fridge. There's two modes on this. Three. There's auto, which means when you're plugged in, you're running off electricity. As soon as you unplug, you're on gas. Or there's also gas or just electric. So, over here's your thermostat. Three modes on that as well. You're going to have cool, furnace, and fan. Fan is the first one. You'll notice, I'll get back through these. When you shut your AC off, that shuts off rather quick. Whereas you shut off your furnace, it will take about 2 minutes for that fan to cycle through before it shuts off. Another 110 with GFCI reset back here. Access panel to some plumbing under there. Lighting, you do have a hand crank open. Power exhaust vent. Television, the only thing I want to mention on that is make sure that this button is pushed in. That green light is on when you run your digital channel scan, so you can pick up all the local channels at the campsite or wherever you're at. Or turn that sound system down or get a station to come in. Alright, so indoor, outdoor, dual zoned. Indoor and outdoor. You can hear them out there. AM, FM, Bluetooth, really nice system here. I want to share with you table down. Take a couple of these back cushions, put them on top of here, and just that quickly, you get another place to sleep. Individual lighting here, one touch. Oh, this got to be on for that. There it is. Smoke alarm here. Your sofa will also jackknife down into a bed. Lift up on the front and lay it down like so. That back. Continuing in here, you'd have storage up underneath your bed on hydraulics. That's nice. This is your TV mount that'll clamp on outdoors. TV remote and a glass plate for your microwave. You're prepped for a TV out here, that backer. Take that same backer and put it on a small TV. You can clip it on here and take it off here and clip it on the block, we call these, outdoors. So you can use the same TV at both places. Emergency exit window. A couple charging ports here, and all this lighting back here is individual. Alright, I think I about covered it all. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. I like to start, come all the way to the back, shut off my lights and my vents. Back out here, shut off all of my lights in here. Then any other lights that are on, I know I have to walk through and individually shut them off. All lights off, I'm going to say doors and drawers. Walk through your unit, make sure all doors and drawers are closed. And we're going to hit slide in. Again, make sure the cabinets down there are closed. Always note that the bottom of your slide will come in first. And with slide in, we'll exit the unit. Most importantly on these steps, make sure your door is all the way open. Otherwise, this piece right here will catch on them. See how close it comes on the way in? Now, before you leave the campsite, slam. You're gonna lock, deadbolt, lift and turn this handle. All right, if we're out dry camping, we're gonna bring up our stabilizing jacks, hook up our hitch and head on to the nearest dump station or home, whatever we're in need of. We will dump our freshwater tank. It's gonna be those right there, dump them out. If we're at a campsite, we're gonna unhook our power, our water, our cable, hook up our hitch and head on up to the dump station. Our dump station is gonna be behind your tires on offside or your driver's side of your tow vehicle. 10-foot hose comes with your convenience pack. Hook that up and pull your black handle. When that black tank sounds like it's no longer draining, go inside, check the level of your black. Come back out, leave that handle open, grab the hose at the dump station and hook up to this tank flush. Again, emphasizing to leave that black handle open over there. Turn on this hose and let it run for a good 5 minutes. It's gonna wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, remove this hose, close that up, make sure that all that washout water you just put in there has drained. Close that black and pull your gray handle. That's gonna be cleaner waters, your sinks, your showers. And that's gonna clean your sewage hose out for you. Close up that gray. Take that sewage hose and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper. Lastly, you will dump your low point drains. I usually just dump those while my grays are draining and head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Jayflight for many years to come. Happy camping.